Hello, good morning. It's me, Lauren Cadillac, aka OG Cadillac, aka Mother of the Decade. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so I'm streaming from my house because it's snowing outside, and in Texas, we are incapable, at least in these parts, incapable of like functioning when there is snow or ice or rain, really anything, any moisture, any precipitation, or as the newscasters call it, precip. Because I was watching a lot of like newscasting, like a lot of weather predictions and stuff to know how much snow we'd get. And all of the, like 100% of the news people call it precip. And I find that to be so annoying. Do you not want cuss there? Good morning. Okay, so we are snowed in today. And that is why I'm in my home office. If you have any issues with the sound or anything, just let me know. So yeah. Welcome. The reflection of my glasses, but I can't read without them, so I don't know what to do. All right. Was that last summer? No, it was the summer before. Wait, when was it? I don't know. I spent an entire summer watching the Melly trial, and I was just like continually flabbergasted by it. And then it, of course, was a mistrial. So that was really interesting. And I thought, since there's been some stuff going on with that case, I thought we could go over it together from start to finish, from the beginning to the end, which is today. Okay, so I'm not on my usual equipment, so forgive me. But what I did is I found the, to share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Okay, sorry. See, it's not my usual software. Okay, here's what I found for you. This is the case detailed from the Broward County Clerk of the Court. And I must point out that I think her photo here is hilarious. It's like part of the logo or something. I think it's hilarious. Brenda Foreman and her hilarious photo. Okay, so this is like so long. Did that make you sick? Maybe, because it's been over 5 years. Over 5 years. Over 5 years. Okay, so first, in October of 18, Christopher Thomas Jr. and Anthony Williams both had lives. Those lives ended October of 18. This kid, Cortland Henry, who they call Bortland because they're bloods, so they can't say C. They can't say Cortland. I learned that in the trial. I learned all of this like stuff about gangs and such from this Melly trial, honestly. Like, okay, so Bortland Henry was also arrested. I learned all 100% of this. I learned through watching the first trial. Cortland pulled up to a hospital in a vehicle, like a small SUV, with his two deceased friends in the back. All right, that's October of 18th. Okay, so then you skip all the way, to this one right here. So the two gentlemen sadly, lose their lives in October, November, December, January, February, March. 5 months later, we have an arraignment. Okay. So we go into arraignment. That means they're arrested. That means they go in, they say whether or not they're guilty. All right. Then dang. Okay. So they keep having status conferences, but then around this time, March of 20, there's a status conference, but this is also around the time we go into lockdown. And look, you can see that. So something happened in March of 2020, and then it's not until May of 21 that anything happens at all again. That's crazy. That's not a speedy trial. To me, that's unconstitutional, but also that is most likely something to be blamed on COVID. You know, I'm no expert, but I'm guessing an entire year does not pass without some kind of reason. It's fucking crazy. Okay, so that's COVID. It's got to be COVID. So this poor kid is innocent, because remember, everyone that is arraigned, indicted, that kind of thing, when they're sitting in that county jail, they're awaiting a hearing. And that hearing or that trial, they're awaiting a trial. That is where they find out if they're guilty. So while they're sitting in this jailhouse, they are innocent, period, end of story. Period. Okay, so an innocent man sat in jail for a year and 2 months, and not a damn thing happened on his case. This is why people take plea deals. This is why Americans take plea deals even when they're not guilty. Because ain't nobody got time for this. Okay. So then we go to the conference. The state did a show cause in 21. 22, we have some motion conferences pending. And then April of 22 is supposed to start the jury trial. All right, now this is important to me. This is the officer, Thomas J. Coleman. All right, so. Whoa. No, that's not Coleman. Okay, let's find Coleman. I like it when they're smiling in their pictures. It's like they look so much more human, you know? Okay, so this is not the judge that ended up presiding. Okay. So this is the judge that's over it. That was not the judge that was presiding over the trial. Okay, then there's a subpoena and a quash. And now, finally, man has been in jail for 3 years. We finally have a demand for a speedy trial. Oh, God. This website, expires and refreshes itself. Okay, we can go to the actual documents. Here's a probable cause affidavit. So that's, hey, Cherry, good morning. You're not late. You're fine. Hi, Dee. Hi, Spa City. Hi, Wendell. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Also, we're still demonetized. So if you want to help, you got to go to the Cashapp. I appreciate it very much. All right. So they do the probable cause. Then they seal the record. Okay. Then arrests. He's arrested, and there's the arrest paperwork. Here's our arraignment. Plea of not guilty. Okay. Thank you, Cherry. You're amazing. I guess someone wanted to appear pro hoc vice. Status conference held. Okay, so state's discovery is already coming. In contrast to the YSL trial that we watched together, Here we already have the state. Here's discovery, here's discovery, here's discovery. Okay, so things are going. Defense says they want to do depo. They then have the status conference. They ask for a release from custody. And then the state, of course, says no, right? Someone files on behalf of the victim. Okay, so it wasn't that nothing happened when he, in the lockdown, but we went into lockdown. And so obviously his lawyers were like, hey, let him out. And then the court said no. And then, there is another status conference. Okay. Defense says they're going to take depo. This is all regarding depositions, more discovery, another status conference. Okay, and this is all pretty typical, right? This is how I would expect a case to look, like the background file. It's just how long it's taken. It's just the time is the issue here. All right, here we go. Appeals order. Okay, so I didn't realize this, but they did. Well, of course I didn't realize this. I didn't know anything about Melly or who this human was or whatever until the trial. And, I'm obsessed with trials. So that's how I came to find out about this person or even anything that occurred. So this is really my first time going back this far in terms of looking at the judicial record, right? So there was already an interlocutory appeal. And if you watch my appeals video, you should remember what an interlocutory appeal is. That's an appeal before you actually go to trial. So they already had an appeal. And I say already because currently an appeal is pending. Okay. So we'll get there. Stay with me and follow along. And by the end, we'll be full circle. Okay. Interesting. Order requiring defendant to provide oral swab. I wonder if that was for like DNA evidence. File granting oral swab of the defendant. Okay. Court of Appeals says, hey, you have 20 days. Okay, so they appealed something. Hey, Red Bunny, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being here. They appealed something, and then this thing, writ of certiorari. That is where, if you lose at appeal, your next step is to get a writ and go to the Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court has to decide whether or not they want to review your case. They get to pick and choose. On this one, the writ was denied on its merits. So the Supreme Court is not going to review that. Okay. More status conference. Letter from the defense, a demand for speedy trial 3 years late. Defense motion to exclude witnesses. Okay, and we do those all the time. There's a lot of reasons to exclude witnesses. There's a lot of reasons to ask a judge for you to be able to exclude witnesses. And I'm not surprised to see that as you lead into trial. That is usually you start to see, motion to exclude witness, motion to exclude this, motion to exclude that, etc. So, good morning, K-Way. All right, so the state is supplementing their discovery. Now we're 3 years deep, right? They're supplementing their discovery, and I'm assuming this was filed first. Okay, the motion to compel, and then the state all of a sudden had more discovery. Oh, wow, look at that. Big surprise. Okay, motion to declare statutes unconstitutional. Okay. Here's a motion to take photographs of the defendant. Presumably, they want to take photographs of his tattoos to help prove the gang charges. Okay. Status conference. Oh, okay. Here is the state of Florida's response to defendant's motion to compel better address and or strike witness. Okay. I don't know if y'all remember, but Melly's ex-girlfriend's mom was dragged to testify at the trial, and she had to wear a fucking ankle monitor, and she was so pissed. Like, her testimony was terrible for the state because she basically was like, you ruined my life. You couldn't find me. I guess she's a traveling nurse, and so she was doing assignments in the DR, and she was just trying to not be part of this, which, here's the thing. My son has a girlfriend. If she committed some crime, I'm not trying to be a part of that shit either. Like, I don't know about her. I met her. She's nice. They get married. She'll be my daughter-in-law and stuff, but I'm not taking time out of my day to testify at a trial or anything. So this poor girl's mother is trying to do her job. She's a travel nurse, and they put a freaking ankle monitor on her. And she said it was like causing issues at her work. She testified to this. So I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to pay for the 12 pages, but I'm guessing that this motion to compel a better address probably had to do with some of these witnesses that were trying to, not be witnesses, which I wouldn't want to be. I mean, to me, I understand people died and that's terrible, but I wouldn't want to deal with my daughter's boyfriend's bullshit. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Good morning, Blue Nettie. Okay. So, so the judge denied the motion to exclude the witness, which means that the witness is going to come in. Okay. Here we have state's motion in limine. Remember, we've talked about motions in limine and what they are. They're any pretrial motion. Motion to allow defendant's forensic expert access to their crime lab and evidence. It irritates me that this is even a motion. Like, our government should gladly hand over evidence. If our government is going to put us behind bars and their burden is beyond a reasonable doubt, they should gladly hand over the evidence that helps them meet that burden. I don't hide evidence. The only times people were hiding evidence that I've ever even experienced evidence hidden is when someone's lying. Full stop. It's so bizarre. So you're the state and you believe you're going to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt, but you can't show me the evidence you're going to do that with? Okay. Cool story. So that is there. Okay, we're still in 22. Like, we're still in February of 22. Okay, this kid is still innocent. So we're 3 years later sitting here. More motions, which all makes, perfect sense. Leave a court to seek the death penalty. So originally, Melly was not facing the death penalty. And then 3 years into this bullshit, the state decides, oh, you know what? Let's do death penalty. How is that constitutional? How is that constitutional? Okay, order. I don't know why you would withdraw a demand for a speedy trial, but maybe I'm sure the lawyer had a reason. Okay, orders on deadlines. Order to preclude opinion testimony of detective. Okay. Hey, Nene, welcome. I saw on your Instagram that y'all also got snow. So I said earlier, that's why I am streaming from home, because we had snow and it was crazy. And it's actually physically snowing right now. And the weird thing for me is, someone who's grown up in Arizona, and is from Texas. The sky is white. Like the sky is a bright white color. It's very interesting. I've never really lived in San. Okay, Kayway says they waited till the law changed in Florida where you only need 8 people to convict for the death penalty. Okay, so that's what they did. The law changed while he was sitting in prison. So that's bullshit in my mind too. If I commit crime in 1999, let's say I committed a crime in 1999, and they don't catch me until 2024. 2024 laws should not apply to me. I committed the crime in 99. So I don't like this. I do not like that they were able to add the death penalty, after the law changed, even though he's been sitting in jail for 3 years. I think that's terrible. All right, here they're trying to exclude, okay, so opinion testimony. If anyone is offering an opinion in a courtroom, they must be an expert. So they have to meet that 702 Daubert or Daubert, or however they say it in your region. They have to meet the 702 requirements. And the idea to me that a cop could be considered an expert or a detective that is currently employed. So it's one thing if you were, a cop for 30 years or whatever, and then you retire and you start doing expert work. Fine. You are an expert. You did that shit for 30 years. You can review as to, what your experience teaches you. But if you're actively at the job of being a cop, I don't understand how you can be an expert at it. That's absolutely bullshit in my mind. Blue Nettie says in Indiana, he would have been under the old law. I won't go to Florida or Georgia anymore, y'all. So, okay, they want to strike and suppress evidence. They want to know the FBI agent, the admissibility of his evidence, so on. Defendant shall be allowed 5 suits into. Ordered that he can have 5 suits and 2 pairs of shoes. Okay. Hearing not held. Order to redact. Here's the evidence obtained by, okay, so here's a order denying motion to suppress. So they had tried to suppress T-Mobile's evidence and the judge denied it. Here's defense motion on the death penalty. Let's see. Okay. State is prohibited from introducing any of the documents in that suppress. Okay, good. So the defense won a little there. Keep going. Here's response to the response of the death penalty. So the death penalty, they went back and forth quite a bit, as they should, because I personally, go on my little rant here, get on my soapbox. I personally used to very much believe in the death penalty, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, but I do not believe in it now. And the reason is because we don't, first of all, taking a child from a mother is bad enough. Why and how would we want to take a child from a mother as the consequence of a child already being taken from a mother? So it just doesn't work for me. I don't like it. Beyond a reasonable doubt is like a really good and high standard, except that it's not. Because if you watched anything in the YSL, or even if you've watched this Melly, you know that the state is always sneaking around. They're always breaking rules. They're always trying to hide shit, and they're trying to do. In my mind, those people, the government, should not be in charge of our lives. They should not have our lives in their hands. I don't trust the system. It's not that I don't trust the system. It's that I don't trust the people running the system. So, okay, off my high horse. Sorry. All right, here we go. So 22, it got hot. They spent a lot in the summer. They did a lot. The summer of 22 was very busy for these guys. Okay, here in 22, there's an order about visitation to remove visitation interaction restrictions. So, by an order for dental care, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? You should not need an order to receive medical care. It's unbelievable, but okay. By this time, by summer of 22, Melly's communication rights had been taken from him from the jail. Okay, so he's been in there for 3.5 years now at this point, and now he's not allowed to talk to people. It just isn't American, man. It makes me sick. Like, am I talking to you about something that happened in Guantanamo Bay? No, this isn't even a war criminal. This is an American citizen. Okay. Anyhow, so they keep going, blah, blah, blah. Now we're in 2023. Now we have another stay pending the Supreme Court's review because his case is so long it expires. His case is so long that we're in the middle of going through it and it freaking expired. That's crazy. Y'all, that's how long this kid has been in jail for no reason. Oh my Christ. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right, let's see. Okay, these are mainly notices. Where were we? We were in 23. When was the trial? When was... June of 23. Okay, I knew it was the summer. Where are we? Okay, so we're in 23. Okay. Okay, yes. So in here, June 12th, 2023. Jury trial. There we go. Okay. So here's our jury trial. Okay. So the jury trial was pretty epic. In the trial, they had people from T-Mobile. So we just saw that Melly's people tried to get that suppressed. But the people from T-Mobile, and what I learned from them is that it is completely inaccurate to use like mobile tracing. You can determine if someone was in like a multi-mile radius at a certain time based on their phones, or that their phone was in that radius. But it's like this radius and there's these towers. So there's no real way to trace it. So that's one thing I definitely learned during that trial. There is a gap, I believe, in with the state's evidence, in that they can't really put Melly in the car, with his phone, and I don't know. It just, their case didn't work, and it didn't work, and we know that because the jury came back hung. That was it. That was done. Oh, here, right here. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a mistrial. So you have the jury asking all these questions, and then you have a mistrial. And that's in 23. This was like an entire year ago, over a year ago, okay? And this is 4 years. His trial happens 4 years after he's incarcerated. Okay. So now, once the trial is over, there is a so after the trial ends, Melly fires one of his lawyers. He had 3 lawyers at his trial. He had a black guy, a white guy, and Raven Liberty. Okay. So at that trial, or after the trial, the jury, the mistrial came back. The black guy quit the case. I don't know what happened there, but he's no longer defending Melly. And so in came 2 new white guys, one that's like fat and one that's really old. And then you have the original white guy, and then Raven Liberty has stayed on. Okay, so he has the trial. It's a mistrial. Now they decide, I don't know why, but he has to stay in jail while he waits for the new trial, which is crazy to me. Yeah, K-Way, the black dude did cook. He was good. He was damn good. I liked watching Melly's team. The black guy would do his thing, and then the white guy would come in, and it was like magic would occur. It was wonderful. That original white guy, he still does that thing. So it's like he has everyone go like do the first work, and then he comes and sprinkles some magic on top of it. Done. Okay. So I don't exactly understand why, but after the first trial, the defense got the state's prosecutor. Her name was something Bradley. Oh, she had nice hair. I think she had a nice Brazilian blowout, is what I think her hair. But anyhow, something Bradley, she got kicked off the case. And then a new girl was assigned to the case, and that girl was the girl who had prosecuted the not XX, was it XXXTentacion that was killed? I can't remember. Anyhow, she prosecuted the guys that killed that rapper. So she comes onto the case after the trial in 2023. Okay. And they start getting ready for a new jury trial right away. And they had, hold on first. Okay, so they had this judge, John Murphy. Okay, he declared a mistrial because they were deadlocked. The jury was deadlocked. It was crazy. Okay, so John Murphy. Oops, that's not it. Okay, so John Murphy is the presiding judge over this that we've been talking about. Okay. And so when they go to the second trial, the state, this is great, the state hands over the same pile of evidence. Okay, here's your pile. Now, this pile happens to be organized by months. So this pile, it represents 12 months of crap, right? Well, what John Murphy did, state presented this pile in the first trial. But Judge Murphy said, oh, no, sorry. Actually, you're only going to be able to present October. Let's go around. Just October. So the defense moved to suppress all of the state's evidence, because now they know the state's case, right? They already saw it. The state already did a terrible job. They didn't meet their burden. Defense now knows what that case looks like, right? So defense goes now and says, hey, judge, we want you to exclude all this evidence. And now they have actually good reason why, and they have been there, done that kind of shit, right? And the judge goes, I think you're right. It limits their evidence to like 1 month worth of data. Location data, text messages, all of that. The state was trying to use like old shit, new, like all this data, right? And the judge is like, no, you can use this data. You only can use the data from the month by which the children were removed from the planet. So that was a huge win for the defense, and hilarious and amazing and awesome. Obviously, the state immediately appealed. Okay, they were like, oh, hell no, we can't put on our case without all the evidence. We need all of this. We're not smart enough to do it with just October. Oh, that's right. Okay, thank you, K-Way, for refreshing my memory. Okay, so Bradley lady, they find out, and actually I think that's why this evidence, why the judge narrowed it, she had done some Brady violations. You know, these prosecutors just love their Brady violations. They love to hide evidence. And it's funny, like, I don't do that. And I do civil. Like, I have a greater chance of losing if I hand you everything, but I like to play fair. I want to hand you everything. I want to win based off of me, you know? I don't know. So, okay, so Miss Bradley was removed because she went to the Adrian Love School of Prosecutors and was hiding shit. Then the judge narrowed their evidence to like this, so they appealed it. Okay. So that case is pending appeal. The evidentiary, the reason they can't move forward is because at issue on appeal is what evidence is allowed in the actual trial, right? Okay. So that brings us to these dirty motherfucking dogs called Broward County. So immediately after Bradley is removed, and immediately after the judge rules in favor of Melly and the minimization of the evidence, look what happens. Broward County files another set of charges against Mr. Jamel Dennis. What? No way. Broward County is dirty and nasty and evil? No. You can't trust the government? No, you don't say. Y'all, this is some dirty shit, okay? This is some dirty shit. They charge him with tampering. They charge him with basically RICO, directing a gang, solicitation to commit the ending of a life, and conspiracy to tamper with a witness. They added 5 new charges. But with the 5 new charges came a new judge and a new arraignment and a new hearing, right? And that is what's been going on in the courtroom lately. There's now 2 Melly cases, okay? Here, they serve the KPS, they do a hearing, they have his arraignment. It's very easy because he's already in custody. They acknowledged the discovery submission a year ago, so January of 24. Defendant motion moves to dismiss, as they should, because it's like my sworn motion would say this is retaliatory bullshit excluded by the Constitution. Unbelievable. More status hearings. Another motion to dismiss. More motions to strike basically anything the state is trying to do. Then they want to rehear. Now they want speedy trial. And here the state files in a case. It appears from a notice of appeal, the counsel of record for the defendant in the lower tribunal. Okay. Here. All right. So then what we found out, okay. So this whole time, one thing that's been very consistent is Raven Liberty. All right. Raven Ramona Liberty is her name. And I love that name. I think it's lovely. Raven Liberty is one of Melly's lawyers. She sat next to him through the entire first trial. She has been there for him. But since Bradley has been excluded, so has the Raven Liberty. They have not been allowing her to see her client in jail, which is absolutely batshit crazy. I can't, again, unconstitutional. Well, Melly's team just found out about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago that Broward County is now investigating Raven Liberty. And back in December of 23, they got a warrant and they went to Apple and they got her entire iCloud and they downloaded her iCloud. Surely there are client and attorney communications in there. So now Raven Liberty and the whole team and Melly are back in court going, hey, they didn't tell us about this warrant. They need to share the warrant with Raven. And you know what the state said? Well, we served the warrant on Apple, so we don't need to give her a copy. Yeah, you served it on Apple because they're holder of her shit. It's her shit. Crazy. So they had 2 days worth of hearings earlier this week, or last week, I think it was. And in the first hearing, the judge said, just hand the damn warrant over to Raven Liberty. Let her see what it says. Let her, understand what's going on. And the next day they came back and said, oh no, we need until February or whatever. So now in February, they're going to provide the warrant to Raven Liberty and then provide it to Melly. And then Melly has to decide, because Raven Liberty is being investigated and presumably she's being investigated for these tampering charges, which is what they just added 5 charges to him for, then that creates a conflict of interest, potentially, if they're both being charged for the same crime, or if she's being charged for a crime related to his case. She and he might not be able to defend themselves at the same time without creating conflict. She might need to be able to turn and point the finger at him, and he probably needs to be able to turn and point the finger at her. And so that creates the conflict. And so the last few hearings we heard were related to that conflict issue and this set of charges they have against Melly. Luckily, that judge, he found out Melly had been in jail for 2,100 days, over 2,100 days. And he said, no, there will be no delays whatsoever, period. This trial will happen in September. Full stop. The other trial, that is going to be completely dependent on when the appeals court comes back and determines if the judge made a proper ruling in excluding that evidence, which I think he did. Why does the state of Florida hate Melly so much? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know if he, asked me if he did it. I really don't know. I know why the jury was hung, because I also was hung. I can't tell if he did this. I don't think they presented enough evidence to convince me beyond a reasonable doubt that he was in the car when the shootings happened. I don't know, man. I really don't think you got death sentence level evidence here, you know. And if the judge's exclusion of evidence is upheld, they for sure are not going to get the death penalty. They're not going to meet that target. Oh, and that was another thing this judge kept saying. This judge kept saying, hey, you know, this is a death penalty case and he has heightened scrutiny. Like, this is the highest level. We're not going to play games. This man he is the most important person in this courtroom at this point, right? Because he is facing the death penalty. So no, Bradley, we're not going to have any Brady. You're not going to make any Brady mistakes or errors in this case, because this man's life is on the line and he's already spent 2,100 days in jail for something we have not proven he did. That's it. That's it. That's the Melly. Y'all, I followed the hell out of that case. I was working from home the day it ended. I come running around like, oh my God, babe, it's over. Well, at least we all know that Melly has a good legal team on his side and that they are working diligently. The fat guy is really good at like the appeal stuff and the Constitution stuff. So he swooped in and did some great stuff. And then the super old guy is good at stuff. So they are really using their best skill sets to help save that young man. So, okay. Next week, I will be in Manila. So I'm not sure if I will live stream. There's a huge time difference between Manila and Dallas. So I might not stream. I'm not sure. Week after, I'll still be in a foreign country, so I still might not stream. And same for the week after. For the next 3 weeks, you might not see me. Hopefully this kept you entertained for a while. And if I do decide to come on, I of course, will let y'all know. Maybe I'll hop in and do a quick live from the beach or something. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Appreciate it. I have the best chat in America, there's no doubt. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your support on Cashapp. I really appreciate it 100% so much. I thank all of you. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next time.